All right, boys and girls, we got another video. I got me something in the mail today and we're gonna put it on. So this is what you should do very first if you have the wobbly steering, you know, at highway speeds on the dirt roads, because this one doesn't go on the highways. Very first thing you should do is try to replace the lower steering shaft, not replace the entire front end. So if your truck, if you look like Cole Trickle talking to Harry Hogg over the radio in your truck, i.e. sawing back and forth going down the road, and some people will get that reference, some of you won't, and that's fine. It's not supposed to do that, obviously, so we need to look into why. And on these trucks, Ford didn't really design the front end the best, in my honest opinion, and a lot of you agree with me on that. My other videos concerning the front end, I've seen a lot of comments that you guys are going through the same issues. Thank you for throwing your pipes down while I'm trying to shoot a video, asshole. So I started with that when I should have started with this. So I'm not perfect, I screw up too. I'm not an expert, I screw up too. But I have a sinking feeling. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of it went away. A lot of it went away. It's drivable, it works great. But there's still just enough to where it annoys the shit out of me. Sitting on 35s with a 2-inch lift, you know, you're slinging that much rubber and metal down the road. You want to make damn sure that you can control it. That gets hauled with a truck like this. So I damn sure don't want to kill anybody, you know, namely my family, but I really don't want to, because the front end might be just a little jacked up. I don't want to put myself in a situation where I could have avoided an accident and couldn't. So what we got in the mail today was from Rock Auto, not sponsored. Rock Auto, hit me up. It is a Dorman 425-399 lower steering shaft. So, and I'll put a link in the video description for you guys so that you can click right on it. Something of note, this is an 08. Okay, it was manufactured, I believe it was, I'm going to put a picture up, covering up my VIN number of course, but I'm going to put a picture of the sticker, and I'll scoot way back here. The sticker is right there. So let me hit the viewfinder so that I know you guys can see that. There's two white squares right there. The top one is my sticker, and I'll put a picture up so that you guys can see it. You want to look at the manufacture date of your truck, because I believe from July, it's either June or July of 07, the steering shafts were different prior to and after. So mine was made July. I just looked at it. Let's look at it again. Okay, my truck was made in September of 2007 is when it was manufactured. I want to say 7 of 07 is when they split it. So that'd be July, not June. Anyway, make sure you pay attention when you order the lower steering shaft. If yours is an 08, yeah, 08, because they all would have been manufactured in 07. Just pay attention to the date. You know, you don't want to tear the steering shaft off your truck, have it broke, or you know, you booger it up trying to get it off or whatever, and then you have to wait to return a steering shaft because you got the wrong one. Anyway, pay attention to the manufacture date of your truck and what you're gonna order. That got me on the steering box too, because the steering box changed, I believe, at the same time. And when I replaced the steering box in this truck, I got the one for prior to, and it wouldn't work on my truck. So anyway, the way we're going to be doing it today is we're going to take my fender flare off. We're going to take the inner fender well out, and the steering shaft is very easily accessible. Let me turn this fancy light on so you guys can see. The steering shaft is very, very accessible from right here. Here's the bottom, and then the bolt. There's two bolts. You might be able to see it right about there. There's a bolt that goes down through that connects the upper steering shaft and lower steering shaft, and then down here you're going to have another bolt that crimps it onto the steering gearbox. So man, the light on this thing is great. I'm kind of playing with this brand new toy. I got me a GoPro Hero 8 Black, specifically for shooting YouTube videos for you guys. And my wife almost had an aneurysm when I told her how much it was, but hey, I will endure the wrath of the wife for you guys. And we're actually getting sort of, almost, not quite, not even close to popular. We're getting close to that 1,000 subscriber mark where I can start making 47 cents a month on YouTube videos, and then be able to tell my wife that all the parts I buy to show you guys stuff all came from the YouTube channel and I didn't spend any of our money. Yeah, right. So it's collapsible, all that. The one bolt up top that connects the two is right there, and then the bolt that crimps it down to the steering gearbox is right there. But I'm gonna get this inner fender well off. If you've never taken one off before, at least on my truck, there's a bolt right there. There's a bolt up underneath here, and the same on the back. There's a bolt back there. My inner fender well is literally held in with sheet metal screws. That's awesome. But let me get this stuff off. I'm going to switch batteries in the camera because I've been playing with it. It's almost dead. Luckily I have another one that's completely charged to full, and then we'll get a better look at this and get it changed out. I'm going to go and tie the bottom of the steering wheel to the seat, and I'm going to do that for a very specific reason. We're going to take the bolts out of the steering shaft, and I don't want, while I'm in here screwing around, the steering wheel to make a revolution either way, because inside the steering wheel there's a clock spring for your airbag. So say I let loose these bolts, I got the shaft out, and when I turn my back to grab the new one to put it in, or I bump the upper steering shaft or whatever, and it makes a complete revolution. Well, now that clock spring is turned one revolution, so the steering wheel's still going to go, you know, you'll still be able to steer, but you could be damaging that clock spring in the process, and we don't want that. So I'm going to tie that down, and then we're going to take those two bolts out that I just showed you. We'll get this steering shaft off. I can talk. We'll get this steering shaft off, and I'll show you guys taking that off, because there's one part that can be a little bit of a bear, but it looks like we have enough room to do my little trick with one of my tuning tools. And if you've watched my videos before, you know what I mean by tuning tool. So let me get the steering wheel to where it won't move, and then we'll get going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you prefer to be called that, but here's the bolt right here, the lower one. You can see I've got it. I'll turn the light back on. I've got it most of the way out there. We're looking at that bad boy right there. Go ahead and take it the rest of the way out so that all you can see is my soulless freckled hand. Now we got her out. See the difference? Little bad boy right there. It's a 13mm, and this will be one of the only jobs you do where it's the same size bolt up here. So we got that one just about out. Another 13mm. We're going to take that bad boy out. And what I did inside the truck, just so you guys can see, just want to minimize it moving, so I just tied it to the brake pedal. So, of course, now that I got my hands all greasy and nasty, there's something in my eye. Whatever. Anyway, so if you're lucky, you can slide up and your steering shaft literally comes off. So that's if you're lucky. A lot of guys aren't lucky. So if you can't get yours off, and I'll show you guys what to do. If you can't get yours off, be sure to edit this out so nobody sees my nasty ass garage. So, because I recently changed that steering gearbox, it was pretty easy to get that on and off. If you're not near as lucky as I am, get you a very small tuning tool. And what you're going to do is between the gearbox and the steering shaft, you're just going to pop that right down in there and give it a little pry, a little twist, a little pry, get you some worked up, and pop her off there. Now for the guy that's been fighting this for 3 hours and is through a half a case of beer trying to figure out how to get this stupid ass thing off, I can't help you, brother. That's how it comes off. You just give it a little pry. I'm lucky. I fought it before and I ain't got to fight it right now. So all you should have to do is take that one bolt out and slide it up off the gearbox. So then what we're going to do is we're going to note the direction of the nut, or the direction of this thing, where this is what has the threads. So we're going to note where that's at. We're going to reinstall it without turning the steering wheel. We're going to reinstall it the same way. So let's get this piece out of here. Ugh. Oh, come on, Bessie. Let's get the old one, the old nasty one. Come on, Bessie. Don't get attitudinal with me. Alright, this is tough to do one-handed. Hold on. Alright, so she's out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this fancy little cover thing. We're going to throw it on the ground. And that's what you should be left with. So we're going to, in the words of the Great Weston, we're going to expertly catalog that over there. And we're going to put that shiny new one in there. So I'm going to put the cover. After we snip that warning tag off. We're going to snip that warning tag off, then we're going to put this fancy cover back on. Like here. And then we're going to put it back in the truck. Hang tight. Alright, boys and girls, she is sitting back in there. It's kind of difficult to show you how to slide a shaft over a hole. One, without making any sexual jokes, and two, being one-handed. It's pretty daggum simple. It's only going to go on one way. If you have if your truck was made after July of 2007, it's got a flat spot and there's no teeth like you would see on a Chevy, I don't know, metric Chevy gearbox or something like that, where it's got teeth that you can get them turned or whatever. It's only going to go on one way. Same up here. I suppose you could get it 180 out, but we tied the steering wheel so that it couldn't turn. so it's going to be sitting in the exact same spot that it was before. So you're going to slide, I'll move it so you can see it. You're going to slide, if I can reach in there, this up in like it was, and you're going to slide that over the gearbox. You're going to put your bolt back in there. You're going to put your bolt back in here, and then you're going to go test drive the truck and make sure you didn't screw anything up, which if you did, I don't know what to tell you, because I don't know how you could have possibly screwed it up. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy, and that is how to change the lower steering shaft on a 2008 F250. The rest is essentially reverser removal. So if you enjoyed the video, if it helped you out, man, I'm so close to that 1,000 subscriber limit to where I can start making 47 cents a year. I'd sure appreciate a subscribe. Share the video with your friends. Tell them to look at this soulless ginger that works on trucks and does it horribly. If nothing else, if I can't help you, at least I'm good for a laugh. So I appreciate all you guys thus far, everybody that's subscribed, everybody that watches my videos. I had no idea that anybody would even give two craps. I was mainly just doing it for fun because I like screwing around with this stuff, and you guys have really supported me, and I appreciate that. So if you can continue to do that, I'd sure appreciate it. I think my neighbor just went by. Anyway, thanks a lot. You guys have a wonderful afternoon, evening, and try not to get the Rona. I hear it's bad. All right, later.